Hello everyone, welcome once again to Primetime Analysis. Now, for the better part of the weekend and this week, we know that President William Ruto is putting a serious campaign in Western Kenya. He visited the region for a 5-day tour and he's been there. In fact, today is holding his cabinet meeting in that part of the region. This visit came in the heat of last week's arrest and raiding of former Kakamega governor, Oparanya, where his homes both in Kakamega and Nairobi were raided in the allegation that he mismanaged 1.3 billion during his tenure as the Kakamega County governor. Now, many people are asking, when we look at all the governors that have exited, we have governors who finished their terms. There are those who were sent home before their term ended. The question is, why did this government, or the EACC for that matter, focus solely on Governor Oparanya? There are many things that people are pushing around. And for me, I want us to look at it in a more critical way for us to understand what is the political implication of this arrest and raiding of Governor Oparanya's home, and what capital does it add to William Ruto. One thing that is evident, Governor Oparanya has come out. He was speaking yesterday in Vihiga County, and he said that the attack that he's receiving is not about corruption or even alleged mismanagement of funds. What is going on is that William Ruto had called him and wants him to be a key member of his team when it comes to managing the politics of the Western Kenya region. Remember, if we go back to the background and understand the key issues that are there, you will know that Central Kenya was a voter for William Ruto, and that is a stronghold that he has. But currently, there are certain serious political undertones that are taking place as people are discussing about the probability of trusting William Ruto again. We know that Western Kenya voted largely for Raila Amolo Odinga in 2022 presidential elections. And the strategy that William Ruto is employing right now, in the wake of many economic challenges, he has decided to hoodwink Kenyans and keep them entertained with these political rallies that is holding in those regions so that they can forget about the question about high cost of living. And for that matter, he decided that in the event or in the wake of his visit towards Western Kenya, he has to make a serious statement. Even if you look at the kind of statements he's making when it comes to those who are controlling the sugar sector, he has been very bold and to some extent going to the extent of making certain threats that some quarters think are quite unconstitutional to be made by a president. So this is what is happening. Governor Oparanya is saying the raid that was done in his home was there to prepare president's way for coming to the Western region. And it was also meant to intimidate him, to submit, and also be among the dignitaries who are going to welcome him in that region, so that he may look like he's going to the president to seek for forgiveness or to slow down on the investigations that are taking place. But Governor Oparanya has been very bold. He stated categorically that regardless of what William Ruto will do, whether it is going to prosecute him, whether it is going to put his name everywhere, wherever he would wish, he has said that his political loyalty to Raila Amolo Odinga will not be shaken. He spoke in Vihiga County, and listen to how he spoke.
Wakaniuliza uko na pesa ngapi kwa hii nyumba? Nikawaambia niko na 2,000,000. Nilikuwa naenda kulipia mtoto wangu ako hapa, anaenda Ulaya, anasoma kule Amerika, nilikuwa naenda kununua dollars. Na wakaangalia nyumba yote, na kumbe pia walikuwa wamekuja paka huku Butere.
Kuna maadui wamezunguka kila mahali. Kuna maadui wanataka kummaliza. Na wanataka kummaliza sio yeye ana makosa yoyote. Wanataka kummaliza kwa sababu ni performer. Na ile performance amefanya, wengine wote wameshindwa kufikia hiyo. Alafu yeye alingarisha Western region yote, ikapigia Azimio kura. Raila alipata kura mingi sana Western region, courtesy of Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. Mwami Oparanya, hiyo ndio makosa yako.
Sasa sisi tunaona hiyo ni njama ya kisiasa. Hiyo sio mambo ingine, ni njama ya kisiasa. Na kila wakati huyu jamaa anakuja hii eneo letu, lazima asumbue viongozi. Mimi mwenyewe wakati alikuja Vihiga County, wakatafuta mimi, wakataka kunishika, lakini mimi ni Mwangilikana, mimi uomba. Walikuja kunishika, nilipita hapo, hawakuniona.
Sisi kama watu wa Kakamega tuige mfano hata ya watu wa Kisii. Mtu wao akishikwa wote wanakuja pamoja, ama namna gani? Lakini sisi mtu wetu akishikwa, hiyo ndio saa ya kuleta vitina.
From the statements made by leaders who are in church there, you will note that they are linking the arrest of Governor Oparanya to political activities that are taking place in the Western region. We know that as at now, William Ruto boasts of having Moses Wetangula. He is also having most governors from that region tend to support him. If you look at the talks that those leaders have made in that clip, you will note that all the activities that were done are linked to political activities that are taking place in the Western region. My main question here is, what is it that William Ruto would want from Governor Oparanya? As at now, Governor Oparanya is the technical director of Azimio Coalition, and he holds a strong position in that coalition that runs most activities that that party organizes. And in that regard, he is someone critical to the opposition. But we know that William Ruto has had this habit of intimidating opposition politicians. You remember that in the wake of the demonstrations that were going on, very many politicians were arrested from different regions, especially those who are supporting Azimio fully. It is now evident that William Ruto is using police and criminal justice system to play politics. One of the things that is stated categorically that he will not allow politics to be mixed with public administration. I do not know what you think about this, but I could ask myself, among the governors that have left, if you wanted to look at somebody who has made a serious impact to his people, it is Governor Oparanya. And because of this thing that he did, he is somebody who is targeted by the government. He knows that when he speaks to his people will listen. And therefore, there is a probability that he holds some strength when it comes to mobilization of the public to have control in his side. Another thing that comes out here is that if you had Senator Osotsi speaking there, he said that even at the time when President wanted to come for interdenominational prayers in that region last time, the President had to search for Osotsi and order for his arrest. But because he was smart to evade them, they did not manage to arrest him. So there is a way in which when the president is headed to a region that he believes does not fully support him, he is always ready to try to use force to intimidate other forces or other people who might present opposition to him during that meeting. So This is something that is evident and has been demonstrated very well by the politicians as you have watched. I do not know how long the president will play this game, and I do not know what will come out of it. But one thing I believe, the president has broken his promise of saying that police and politics will not work together. Criminal justice system, for me, should be fully separated from what we call politics in this country. I do not know what you think about this, but the president has decided to play politics and is opted to have opposition politicians arrested and intimidated by the police and all other forces, investigative agencies, as it were. That's my take in that analysis. Please remember to subscribe and ensure we grow together. And let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you, and may God bless you. Goodbye.